Hi, friends. How are you doing this happy Tuesday? I am so beyond excited to be here live with you guys one more time. So, I have a special guest, and she is jumping into this stream now. I know that you guys know who she is, Nikki from Carrie Grace. Let me go ahead and add her in. Hey,
Good
Nikki.
morning.
I am so thrilled that you made time to join me here. It's a pleasure because I'm a huge fan.
Oh, well, I'm excited to be here.
So today, I think what we're going to do is just kind of go on and talk about our favorite tips for getting started with FlyLady, because you've been doing FlyLady for 100 years. I've been doing FlyLady for at least 5-ish, 7-ish years. It's been kind of ish though, because I didn't do it right like twice, and I finally got my stuff together on the third go round. But I think that's normal when you're starting. Did you jump in and have success, or did you kind of fall short a little bit starting out?
That is absolutely normal. I have started and stopped numerous times. So
Mhm.
that's just part of the process.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Now, when you started, did you do the whole baby step thing and do the whole thing one day at a time like she instructs?
I did the first time, yes, I did.
Yeah. Oh, you're so
Um,
good. You're a rule follower. I think when I started, I was a single mom working, and of course, that in itself makes it a little bit harder because I started with a lot of mess and overwhelmed. And I found her system just in a low point in my life personally, because I had just gotten divorced and everything was out of control. So I needed that stability, that anchor of finding something that just said, just do this. And so that's why I jumped in on it, because I really, even though I'm not a terrible dirty person, I'm a little ADHD. I will forget laundry in the washing machine for days and then be like, oh my gosh, what in the world? And think that I'm the only one to do it, right? So if you're in the chat right now, please raise your hand and say, yes, that is me. If you've ever left your laundry machine for more than like a couple of hours, because I literally could do it anytime. So having somebody that just told me like a baby, this is what you're going to focus on today, and tomorrow you're going to do that. So I did read it all, but my first go around, I thought, okay, sink, dishes, laundry, let's just jump in. I don't have time to read all these things. What's the basics? And then about 2 weeks later, the basics kicked my butt because I tried to do everything instead of building the habit. Yeah.
yeah, the habits are the core.
I know. And I'm learning that, but I did not know that at like 25. I thought that it was just there are people who are clean and organized and there were people who weren't, and I was just not. And it took a long time for me to realize it's just habits, and I never took the time to build the good habits. And now, thankfully, a lot of them have stuck. I'll be honest, not all of them though, right? So, what is the one habit that kicked your butt?
It's always been laundry. Always. Always.
I think
Yeah.
I think Diary of a Tattered Slob. Love that name, by the way. She raised her hand. She said, "Yes, absolutely."
It's
She struggles with the laundry too. Are you doing it every day a load, or are you doing a little bit more like Dana K. White that says just do a laundry day and get it all done?
I kind of do a mix. I did read Dana K. White's book a couple years ago, and
Yeah.
it totally changed the way I started doing laundry.
Can
And
we see?
because I had always, yes, both of those. And so when I started her process of laundry, because it made sense just having a laundry day, I did that for a little while. And then that kind of helped me find my footing of what was really going to work for me. And for me, it's really been a mix. It's been a mix of both systems. So typically now I do a specific load of laundry on a specific day instead of just saying I'm going to do a load of laundry a day. And for whatever reason, that's made a big difference.
I
I
tried.
tried.
Am I
Am I
echoing?
echoing? Not on my end.
Okay,
Okay.
I got a little feedback, but I think it's because it's trying to connect to my earbuds in my pocket. So we don't need that. Um, so I'll go ahead and just put one in. That way it'll be just echoing in my ear. So I did try my very best to do a laundry day. And when I worked, that had to happen. Like there was no way I could go, especially not living in a house with a laundry room. I had to take it to the laundry mat or the laundry building or whatever. And so when I did it, I did all of it. The problem was then I had all of it to fold and put away. And ugh, that's just not my favorite thing, especially when, sometimes the laundry is, it's maybe an hour to dry, and so it would just be so much more. I would be waiting for it and waiting for it. So laundry would last literally 8, 9 hours to get all of it done for, all of the kids and me and everything. And so I never felt comfortable keeping up with laundry until I actually did start doing one a day. And I don't do laundry on the weekends. I have two I have a 20-year-old and a 21-year-old and a 16-year-old that live at the house now, and they have access to the laundry anytime, but I kind of claim it Monday through Thursday, like it's my room. And then on the weekends, they can do as much laundry as they want. They can leave it in the dryer. I'm not going to scream, but on Monday morning, it needs to be gone because it's time for me to do my sheets and then go from there. I typically do like sheets on Monday and then Tuesday colored clothes for me and my husband, Wednesday whites, Thursday towels, and then I'm done for the weekend. I do everything I can to avoid cleaning on the weekend, y'all. I basically try to keep up with my bed and the sink. And then at night before I go to bed, I do a really quick room rescue because if I didn't, life would get really nasty, really quickly. But yeah, laundry is a beast. I don't know anybody that's ever said laundry wasn't a beast, especially with kids.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think
Yeah.
it's everyone's weak point.
Yeah. I even did, you remember the joy of tidying up, what is that, Marie Kondo or something like
Yes.
that, Con Marie? I was like, "I'm gonna fold this stuff and make it neat," and I was like, "Oh my good," number 1, I don't have space to stand and fold because I did not have a laundry room, remember? And number 2, by the time I pull something out, 3 other things fell over and it became unfolded and just I was like, "Okay, this is not me." I listened to the clutter bug and now I understand that there are different types of people and I'm most definitely not that. I like organization, but I don't like perfection. So it's
Right.
like I need it to be in a drawer or a bin and organized, but I don't care if all of my undies are folded and neatly stacked. They can be like all over the place.
Yes. I am that way with my stuff, but then I kind of cater to the other people in my house. So I've got a few that like everything extremely organized and lined up. So I do their clothes that way, but mine are just thrown in the drawer. So as long as they're in
Yeah.
the drawer, we're good.
And I don't hang, like, workout gear and stuff like that. I just toss it in there because it's not gonna be seen by anybody. Well, I shouldn't say it's not gonna be seen by anybody. I did put myself on the internet. Did you see that video? Oh my gosh. I need to embrace my size and just forgive myself for being the size and stuff because I know that there are a lot of people that aren't in the perfect place, and I just was like, "You know what? I'm over 50 now. I need to just learn to let it go." And I, for a moment, got like really brave and thought, I'm just going to show this. This is who I am and move on. And now I'm like, what was I thinking? But I did have a lot of ladies reach out and say that, they felt the same way. So I think it was a good thing. Do I plan on ever putting it on there again? No, no, absolutely not. But it was a good thing.
That's
Oh,
funny.
looks like I have a dog in the house. I told you I still have some kids at home, so here she is. Sippy just got a haircut, and so she's coming to say hi, and her panting is gonna drive me crazy, and I'm sure drive y'all crazy too. So, all right. So, baby steps. You did it the right way, and you had success with it?
No, because I didn't feel like it was fast enough.
Yeah.
Um, so I did it, but then I didn't stick with it. And
Mm,
then several times later, I tried it again and kind of started more with the weekly home blessing and started
mhm.
there. And
Yeah,
that was, I think, when I was finally able to stick with it, is I kind
yeah.
of just started with the weekly home blessing and then added on other things, but doing the just one little tiny step at a time. It was too slow. I tried it, but it was too
Yeah.
slow.
It I think that's where I failed. I lasted for, like, a week, and then I quit, and then the next time I lasted well, I skipped around, and then finally the 3rd time, I did go through every step of it, but I had to clean other things in addition to the step because life just was too messy to wait to do the things according to her plan. And I think that that's one of those things that a lot of people struggle with. And I did a video, I don't know, like last year, maybe the year before, that was like cutting out all the fluff of the baby steps because, like, drinking water, I don't need to be told to do that because I've developed that habit on my own. I don't think, and FlyLady, please don't hate me, but I don't think that I need to go to her website every day and read her emails every day. Like, I just, number one, I don't want to ever go to her website. But
No.
I did buy the book, and I had somebody the other day, and they said the same thing. Buying the book saved me a lot of frustration because then I could just refer back to the chapter or whatever and see what's next and what's coming up and go from that instead of that website that was so cluttered and so messy. And I thought it was ironic that someone that's trying to teach me to be tidy and clean and organized has the most chaotic website I've ever been to in my life. But all of the things that she has are such good things that I understand it. I just think that she needs a new web designer, you know?
Agreed. I agree. The book is 100% better than the website,
Yeah,
hands
for
down.
sure. And it's just, I mean, even after all these years, I will still pick it up occasionally and look at it and be like, am I doing this right? Maybe I've come so far away that I've lost the purpose of things. Clearly, I don't have as much paper clutter as they did when she originally wrote the book, when you have all the mail and all the bills and all the things. But I still find that it piles up. And so I skipped that chapter and now I'm going back going, where's that chapter again? I need to look and see what she recommends for this because it's starting to pile up. So I think getting the book is huge. And speaking of getting the book, for those of you that are watching, did you know that Amazon Prime Day is like now? It's happening this week. And I definitely would appreciate, and I know Nikki would too, if you guys are going to be shopping on Amazon the next couple of days, if you'll just click any of our links to anything in our videos, it'll take you to Amazon. You can buy absolutely anything. You can look at anything, and it would just support us. And we're talking pennies. It's not like they're paying mega bucks, but it does help because we have a lot of invested expenses to do this. And I mean, even just 50 cents is like, woohoo for me. Cause I mean,
Yep.
we're over here broke. My husband's starting a new business and we ain't getting paid no more. So, anyways, links are in all the videos. I'll put links in the description here. Nikki, if you want to do it on your end as well, we will get y'all hooked up with it. But wow, some really good stuff over on Amazon, and I will be shopping a little bit later on. Speaking of shopping, all right, I need everybody to give me a vote. I really want a stick vac. Nikki, do you have a stick vac?
No, I
I think
don't.
this would be such a time saver because
Oh, wait, just a
I
second. I do have a stick vac. I don't have a cordless stick vac.
oh, okay. Well, yeah, yeah, I want a cordless stick vac. Yeah, I need to clarify. I still have, you remember from like the 70s, these super heavy Kirby, like no one has one of these anymore. I think I'm the only person that still buys the bags for this, but it still works. Like it's not a bad vacuum, but it's so heavy. I never take it up the stairs. My upstairs, I use my dust buster. And when I say a dust buster, it's actually, I think I bought a Shark or Abyssal Power Pet Hair or something another. It's just a handheld vac. and it's doing wonderful. I love it,
Mhm.
but I really, really, really dream of getting a stick vac, and I recently had someone say the Shark is the way to go, and I thought Dyson was the way to go. So, if you've ever used either of them, please let me know because I'm actively looking at them. I want to purchase as soon as possible. If there's a smoking hot deal today, I will be getting something today, but I would love some feedback on that because I really love it.
I'm gonna chime in on this. I
Yeah.
have had a cordless stick vac, and I actually prefer the one with a cord.
Mm,
They're more powerful and they just last longer. I
yeah.
have had some in the past, and they're great for a couple of years most of the time, and then
Mhm.
it's like they just die out. The Shark vac that I have now is just a stick vac that plugs in, and that thing is probably 10 years old, maybe 8 years old, and it's still going strong. And it has a
Nice.
really long cord. So if you have to have, a cordless one, get it if you really want it. But because they are nice, but I prefer the corded ones.
Yeah. I'm
So,
just
but it's
thinking that,
just kind of a personal preference.
yeah. Well, like I said, the big Kirby, it works. Like, I'm not gonna say it doesn't. It's lasted 20 years or whatever. Okay, I just aged myself a little bit, 40 years or whatever. It's not mine. It was my husband's when we got married, but it does work. But it's like serious like workout equipment to pull it out
Yeah.
and to move it around. And I'm certainly not going to pick it up and take it anywhere. So it doesn't save me time. It's I avoid vacuuming as much as I can. Once a week, I'll get it out for a weekly home blessing hour. By the way, did you do it yesterday?
I did.
I did too.
I did.
I did not last week, guys. I'm going to share one little fun thing and I'll see if I can find a picture at some point. But um, I, on Monday night at midnight, got the call to head to the hospital because my
Okay.
grandson was coming. So, of course, with it being 4th of July, I had planned on doing my weekly home blessing on Tuesday. And then I got the call. So I did not. So I don't know if y'all can see. This little nugget was born at 8 a.m. on the 4th of July. So, of course, I was not home cleaning last week at all. So I
A
did
good
reset the
excuse.
house. Yes, he's beautiful. So excited. Mom and baby are both doing great. But so yeah, my house, I'm like recovering from being gone. At least I was gone like 3 days. And of course, the family, they're well trained. Things aren't terrible, but the sink was full of dishes. The trash was stinky. Laundry is piled up a little bit. But otherwise, it's just, a coffee cup on the counter or something like that. Like it wasn't terrible, but it just felt dirty because I could see dog hair on the hardwood, all the things that I've kind of gotten used to not seeing because I'm doing it all the time. And that's the key, right? With FlyLady or really any cleaning routine is just doing it every day a little bit, you know? Yeah. Have
Yes.
you ever tried any other plans?
Yes, I've done them all. Not all of them. I haven't tried as many as you have, but I have definitely done Clean Mama, which I do like Clean Mama's plan.
Yeah.
I feel like right now, because we're kind of in a transition period,
Hmm.
what I'm doing, I feel like it feels a little bit more Clean Mama style with my deep cleaning. I'm not doing zone cleaning right now. Right now, I'm just following a list of monthly tasks
Hmm.
because we're doing so many home improvements and there's just so many
Hmm.
projects going on.
Yeah.
And that just felt easier for right
Yeah.
now. But I also still like zone cleaning. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. So, if you're just jumping in, this is Nikki with Carrie Grace. We are just doing a little chat about getting started with FlyLady and then some of the time saving tools that we use to just keep the house clean and things like that. So, um, make sure that you jump in. If y'all have any questions at all, we're going to do like a rapid fire Q&A here in a little bit just to like get to know each other and maybe answer anything that's really truly driving you guys crazy because FlyLady is big, it's robust. That's why it's so good, but it's also the reason why it's so hard to jump in because, it's kind of like jumping into the deep end of the ocean. There's you're out there without floaties and it's overwhelming. But if you wade in, you do it the slow and steady way, which is not the way any of us want to do anything, right? I want instant gratification and I want it now. But that is not the FlyLady way. So I had to slow my roll. And Carrie Grace, her channel is full of all kinds of really good, like, this is how to do the weekly home blessing hour. This is how I lay out my zones because both of us do it just a touch different. We don't follow it to the letter. And I think that you guys need to just know it's okay if something's not working for you to change it. FlyLady doesn't have to be all or nothing. It's my base. Nikki says it's her base. We still maintain with FlyLady, but life happens. She just moved into a new house and she's having to do a little bit of a deep cleaning list, more like Clean Mama instead of the zone cleaning like FlyLady. I've recently gone over like all the cleaning routines because my goal was to help my daughter find something that will work for her because she flat out refuses to even consider FlyLady. She doesn't like it. She thinks she's very out of touch. And I've told you guys that I love her, but it's not everybody's cup of tea. It just isn't. And the minute I turned it on the TV, she was like, oh my gosh. So, we're just going through the motions of trying to figure out what would work for her. Now that she has two littles at home, she needs that extra motivation to like be consistent because even though she cleans every week, that consistent daily clean is the true magic. There is no magic fairy dust. It's the little bit of elbow grease every day keeps everything tidy and clean, right?
For sure. For sure. I think I'm going to give you my advice for if you're starting the FlyLady system as a newbie, or if you have started it and stopped and started it and stopped.
Oh no, I think we lost you. There you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that one of the best things you can do, like Terry already said, is to just do one chunk at a time. Like start really small. I wouldn't say necessarily start with the baby steps because I feel like they're really slow, but pick the part that's going to make the most sense for you. Is it the weekly home blessing? Or is it starting with zone cleaning? Maybe you kind of already have like a weekly routine that you do, but then you just really need help with your deep cleaning. Start with zone cleaning. If you got a house full of clutter, just start decluttering. If you have got, you need help organizing like the parts of your life, start doing the trying to think of what it's called. It just left me. The daily focuses. Pick out a daily focus and work on that. But I think it's important to just pick one area, the area that's going to be the most beneficial for you. Start there and then gradually add more in.
I totally agree. I was just putting a comment up asking if you do FlyLady or if you're modifying it. Because I would love to know if anybody's watching, how are you guys doing that? Because it's definitely something that I think the majority of the people that I've talked to, they've modified it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it for sure. I had to rearrange my daily focus a bit because going to the grocery store on Thursday during that time of my life wasn't working because we were starving on Monday. All the food was gone. I have teenagers in the house. Like, you can't go on a Thursday and expect to have food on Monday for dinners because they're old enough to cook the hamburger meat, to make themselves a taco or something. And so I've had to kind of break it into, I go to the grocery twice now, usually at the beginning of the week for about a half a week's worth. And then at the end of the week, do I like it? No, but it's the season that we're in and it works better because Nikki probably could say, if you buy cookies or cupcakes or a bag of chips for a cookout on Thursday, by Saturday, it's gone. It's just flat out gone. So I just have to like do as I need it, a little bit at a time. My husband loves to grill and smoke meat and stuff like that. So we're always running to the store to get something that we need or want. So as much as I try to simplify and organize and make a list, we're just in a season that we're a lot more flexible with kids being older. They're not always here for dinner. So if no one's going to be home but me and my husband, we may not make the big meal. We may just, you know, grill a steak and have a salad or something. Who knows? But it's okay to move it around, and it's okay to, like, if I'm already in town on Thursday getting my groceries, I wash my car on Thursday, even though Friday is car and purse day. I mean, I don't live in town, so I'm just going to do as much as I can while I'm there and then move on from it. So, when you got into the zone cleaning, did you follow the zones exactly like FlyLady says, or did you mix them up a little bit? So, for example, I have 4.5 or 5 bathrooms, but the bathrooms are, not all on the same level. So I have a half bath off of my living room. And I just found it much easier to tackle it during my zone 5 cleaning of my living room, because I'm doing weekly home blessing hour in my living room every week anyway. So it's really not that dirty,
Right.
So I do that just as part of that zone, even though it's technically a bathroom. But I need to spend the extra time deep cleaning the kids' bathrooms during my bathroom week.
Right. Yeah, and that's a great point. I totally agree with that. I started the Fly Lady zone cleaning as it was written, and I still recommend starting it as it is written because I feel
Mhm.
like it's really easy if you just look at the list, you're like, "Oh, well, I don't need to do that. I need to move around
Mhm.
this." And then I think sometimes you can make so many changes all at once without ever
Mhm.
having gone through the process that you kind of just end up in the same place. So I feel like when you're first starting out, if you will go through the zones as they are written and take
Mhm.
notes, do it several times and just decide, okay, this isn't working, but why isn't this working? And then make a plan for how to change it and tweak it. I feel like you're going to come out better. So, like you
Yeah.
said, you had a bathroom that was worked better doing it close to your living room. That makes perfect sense. Because I'm not zone cleaning right now and I haven't zone cleaned in this house, I don't really know exactly how my zones
Mhm.
are going to land. I'm probably going to start that sometime before the first of the year. But when I start back, I'm going to start with the same Fly Lady list
Yeah.
on the app and go through it and make notes. Now, in the last couple of houses, I separated it so that I had all bedrooms together, all bathrooms together, just because of the way the house was laid out. It
Mhm.
made more
Yeah.
sense. But this is a different house. We all have different
Mhm.
houses. We have different setups.
Yeah.
So, yes, definitely make tweaks, but figure out why you're making the tweak first.
Yeah. And I read that book, Cleaning Sucks, and I was reading it to research for one of the videos for Fly Lady Alternatives. And I'll be honest, I was surprised by how much I got out of the book, because it really talked about knowing your why and your purpose, and really realizing your cleaning. I think Dana K. White calls it your clutter threshold, because my level of clean is most definitely not my mother's level of clean. She is very much a highly organized, perfectionistic, like, individual as far as her house. You could eat off the floors anytime, any day. I literally would have to play with my baby dolls in my closet because you were not allowed to sit on the bed after it was made. And this is like at 5 years old. Like, I've always had that mom that's just beyond. And that's probably why I struggled as much, because I only knew how to follow a list. And so when I got grown and I didn't have a list, then I kind of let things slide a little too much. But what I would say is knowing your why was
Mhm.
valuable for me, because as I was going through, I was really understanding that I want a house that feels comfortable and inviting. And sometimes perfectionism can be very uninviting. But I really have some key hot points that if these things are not done, I feel disgusting. I am, highly stressed out and anxiety through the roof. And so, kind of recognizing, okay, so my personal triggers is dirty dishes in the sink, overflowing trash can, and my bed being a hot mess. And I never knew that, because I lived 30 something years and barely made my bed. Like occasionally I would make it. I didn't realize that was a trigger for me. But every time I walk past my room now, I'm like, shoulders back, girl, way to go. Like I'm an adult now. And it was like an eye opening moment when I really was like, okay, I knew that I liked it when I started FlyLady, but I didn't realize that I had these triggers. These are actual triggers that as soon as I walk through the door, those are places my eyes go. Trash is not overflowing, sink looks good, bed is made. The rest of it is just lived in, and I can handle if someone kicks shoes off. My rule of thumb is when you get up, you take it with you. And I put a video out like probably 2 years ago that was like things that are just tips that no one ever teaches. And one of them is, when you get up to go into another room, you scan the room, pick up something, and take it with you. So when I get up to go to the kitchen, I look around to see if anybody's done with the plate, if there's any trash, and I'll take it to the kitchen. Does that mean I'm going to spend 20 minutes in the kitchen cleaning? No. But if I was going to get myself some water and my husband's done with his coffee cup, I'll just take the coffee cup and put it in the dishwasher. And it saves me time. My future self likes it because I don't have as many things sitting out. So when I see dirty laundry that he left on the floor while I'm making the bed, I pick it up and I go put it in the basket. Does it mean that I'm mad at him for leaving it? No, most of the time, right? Occasionally. But for the most part, it's just part of my regular, like, oh, there's a sock. It fell out of his pants. Let me go throw it away, and it's fine. But I think it's kind of finding those things, those triggers, and your why and what your clutter threshold is, because my threshold is, I should say here, because I can't handle a lot, and my husband's is way up here. He can handle a lot more mess than I can. But when it hits for him, he's just as crazy as I am. So him learning mine learning his, I think that's really valuable. And that's where kind of learning yourself and figuring out why you're doing this. Are you doing this so that you can have, a 5-course dinner with friends over? That's a different level of polishing everything. But if you're just wanting a backyard cookout on the weekends and no one's really coming in your house, just make sure the toilets are clean. Nothing's like out of place. Don't spend 1,000 hours trying to make things perfect.
Right. Yeah. We have different levels of clutter thresholds in our house as well. And like you said, it's so important to know the other person's, because then you can just help make things run smooth.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just focus on what really is important.
So I had a friend, and I call, like, people who watch my videos, most of them have become friends. Like, you see the ones that comment and you kind of have conversations. So I had one of my friends, and she was telling me, she was like, I was so nervous to get to know you because you're like a famous person. And I just started laughing. I was like, no, no, I'm really not. I just happen to be more outgoing on social media in this platform, not in any others, but in this one. And she was saying that it was so funny because as we are talking about people who influenced us. And it's not because, they're like Martha Stewart, because I don't relate to Martha Stewart. She's got a whole different life and a whole different set of things going on that I have no idea about. I definitely don't have a 10,000 square foot house. I don't have servants. I don't have the money to hire servants, like none of that. The ones that I find that, like you and I are talking about, we're talking about Dana K. White, who is the queen of decluttering. And she's had a huge influence in the way that I perceive a mess. And she's the one that talks about knowing the clutter threshold and knowing everybody's clutter threshold, because I could literally drive my husband crazy if I go in his office and I organized it. And he's got boxes everywhere. I want to. It, like, in me, there is a huge desire to put things away. Just empty the boxes. I don't have to like organize it like neatly on the shelf, but just unpack it would be nice, right? But I can't. That's his designated area. That is his space. So what I can do is control how far it comes into the rest of the house. That is his zone. The rest of the house are the public zones that I manage and maintain. We have a level that I've agreed upon where, no food is in there, no, things like that. But otherwise, my daughter, she's 16. Y'all know 16-year-olds don't see mess. So when I open her door, I sometimes can't even see the floor. But It's her room. As long as there's no food, the trash is under control so that we don't get bugs and things like that. Keep the door shut so I don't have to see it. Live in your own filth. That may not be the best rule, but I married in at, and she was already a preteen. So I'm not going to change who she is at this point, nor do I want to. She is an individual and we need to honor the people that we live with. And that's what Nikki is saying. Like, you got to fold the clothes according to the way they prefer it. You've got to do things the way you like it. I have a preference, but if I know that one of my husband's little idiosyncrasies is he wants all of his shirts facing the same direction, I could care less. As long as they're not on the floor and they're not wrinkled up, I don't care. But he really likes it to be facing one direction. So every time I do my laundry for him, I'm like, oh, this way. And for me, I'm like, yep, 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 yep. Don't care, whatever. And I think that that is a really good point that you made. Really, really good. So other than Dana K. White and, of course, the FlyLady, who else do you think kind of molded you into the homemaker that you are?
That's a good question. I don't know. Those are probably the main ones.
The main ones.
My mom was
Mhm.
actually very messy. So I actually grew up in a home that was very just full of things, very disorganized
Mhm.
and things like that. And I just remember as a kid, I loved going to my friends' houses that had houses that were clean.
Yeah.
And so that for me was kind of more my
Mhm.
motivation than anything, was to kind of figure out. I was like, okay, I wasn't raised this way, but I know there is a way to do this.
Mhm.
And so it kind of just became my mission to not repeat the same thing, even though my tendency is mess. I'm
Yeah.
very messy. I'm very disorganized. Um, but I've
And yet
had
we
to
teach it.
but I've had to learn how to,
Yeah.
create routines and
Yeah.
create, things that I
Yeah.
can do to keep it under control.
Which
So
is,
plus I was gonna say, plus I also married a husband that is very particular and has things lined up. So that does help.
well, I think
But
that's why everybody's relating to you so well, because
right.
I think that the miscommunication, that's not the word I'm looking for, but you know what I'm saying. I think that the misconception is that cleaning people, FlyLady people are perfect. And I'm just here to say it's absolutely not true. Like, I'm a hot mess express every day, all day, but I'm so much better than I was because of the routines and because of the things that I've embraced. And I get excited about it now because I don't want anybody to feel that bad as I felt when I was in that place.
Well, and I think too, I was thinking about this earlier. People that are naturally just very clean and very organized and just do things, exactly so, those people don't look for cleaning videos on YouTube because they
You're
don't need
right.
help. So
Exactly.
they just don't. It doesn't occur to them that people need a cleaning routine or like need help coming up with a routine or
Mhm.
figuring out how to get themselves out of whatever, mess that they're in. It just doesn't occur to them. They don't relate to it. So I think it's important, to realize, if people are looking to you and asking you questions, it's very important to just be authentic and be like, hey, I'm a mess,
Mhm.
but I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
So
Some of the best moments in, being on YouTube are the moments where I have, like, the epiphany, I'm in the middle of doing something and I'm like, "Why is this driving me crazy?" And then I realize it's out of control. It's the anxiety of it. It's all of it, and then once I just do it, it's like I feel so much better. I feel relief. So it's almost like I found cleaning therapy, through it because in my mind with ADHD, I thought, making my bed take 30 minutes. After I got into FlyLady, I started timing it. I realized it takes 3 minutes, not
yeah.
30 minutes. So I'm putting it off and making myself very anxious and feeling bad about myself every single time I walk past that. And I could have just done it in 3 minutes and moved on with life. And as that kind of sank in, then I started going, well, what else have I been doing? What other things have I been kind of thinking were so big that are really not so big, you know? And so now I'm starting to apply it with like cooking because I get very anxious. Um, my first marriage, I felt a lot of pressure to be a different kind of person than I actually am. Not because he did it, but overwhelmingly, it was all of the family. They were very much, you know, from garden to table, you know, all of these things. And I was raised by a single working mother. And so a big meal for us, maybe hamburger, mac and cheese, you know, or something like that. And to go from, you know, a big breakfast, a big lunch, a big dinner, always fresh fruits, vegetables, meats, everything freshly done, you know, in this very different lifestyle, I immediately from, you know, get go felt like I was a huge failure in my homemaking endeavors. And that was one of the things that when I got control over the little things, I started going, you know, just breathe, you know, let's plan something for dinner, you know, beyond something super easy because for years, it was like homemade pizza, it was tacos, burritos, you know, things that I couldn't mess up, right? And now I'm kind of getting a little more confidence about it. I'm trying a little bit more. I'm actually enjoying it more because I've recognized that my current family didn't put that on me. I am not a failure because I don't know how to do it. I just don't know how to do it. And I'm not going to know how to do it until I start trying it. And that has been really, really good. And I like Kimmy over at She's in Her Apron because, you know, she's kind of walked me through some things that I never thought I would try. You know, I'm starting to try to freeze things. You know, I'm the one mom on the block that doesn't know how to freeze a casserole, you know. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is what I need to do next. Let me freeze some things, especially with a new baby, you know, at home with my daughter. That would be a good thing to learn. So I'm in the process of doing that. So it's so funny to me how cleaning, something that I thought everybody already knew how to do, is now changed my life in so many ways. And that's the power of FlyLady because she does touch on every single part of your home life. She includes grocery shopping, menu planning, self care, you know, in addition to the cleaning. And that's the thing that the others don't do, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite things about the Fly Lady also is that it just encompasses everything.
mhm.
The I keep forgetting what they're called, but the daily focuses. I don't know why I keep forgetting that. But the daily focuses have been a huge thing for me. Now, I don't do the same daily focuses that the Fly Lady does. I've kind of come up with my own, but just that has helped me to really organize my time in a way that makes sense. So that's been huge for me.
So I popped this up because if you're brand new, you may not know what the daily focuses are, but she has like a daily routine, which are your basics, making the bed, doing your dishes, doing some laundry, things like that. Those are like everyday type of things, but your daily focus is like the thing that she recommends you focus on for that day. And it's not like for hours. The weekly home blessing hour on Monday, it takes me a little less than an hour to get it done when I do it the fast way that she wants you to do. But if for some reason I decide that I need to actually move the furniture to vacuum and dust without just dusting with a feather duster, it can add a little bit of extra time to it. I've had a lot of people say, "How in the world do you get that done in an hour?" The key to weekly home blessing hour is that you are not supposed to make it perfect. You're supposed to hit it and forget it. Like just for 10 minutes, do as much as you can do and then walk away. So, dusting, for example, she's encouraging you to just grab a feather duster and just walk around. Don't move everything, don't polish it, don't like rearrange things. Just a light feather dust because the goal is not to make it perfect. The goal is to keep it from building up until you get there doing your zone cleanings to make it perfect. Or I shouldn't even say perfect, but you know, to do it the real way. I had a hard time with that because never in my life did a feather dust. I thought that was like cheating. You know, you're supposed to remove everything, put polish on it, clean everything, wipe everything, put it back. And it just, save so much time because now when I get to the dusting, and I know, Nikki, you're probably going to be saying the same thing. When I get to my zone cleaning in my living room, it really, I can't even see that I'm polishing things because the dust is not there because I've been knocking it away every week on Monday. It's amazing. It's
Exactly.
truly amazing how much cleaner it looks every day. And I'm doing this little thing that's not a 2 seconds to get it done.
Yep.
Yeah. So, of these tasks, do you do the anti-procrastination day?
No, I don't.
I think it's a great
Because
idea. I just never do it.
I feel like if I did that, I would save everything for Wednesday. Like
Yeah.
I would never do anything because I would just be like, "Oh, I'm just going to put it off till
Yeah.
Wednesday."
Yeah.
So that's why I don't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't do that one.
Yeah. I like to think that I'm going to do that. The reality is, on Wednesdays, I'm usually editing YouTube videos. And so I've set up Wednesday as a very big desk day for things like that. So, again, change it, make it what you need it to be. Don't be afraid to rearrange things because absolutely, you just can't. So let me get that out of the way. I had that from another training that I did a while back, and I just thought I'd pop that up because I was thinking they may not know what the daily focuses are. So Jessica says she's on the baby steps. She just started, so she hasn't modified anything, which is awesome. And she's working from home full time with a 1-year-old. Jessica, my daughter is in pretty much that same boat. She's not a big fan of FlyLady, so we're actually trying to find a plan that works for her. But definitely, I love the FlyLady. If you can stick with it and build the routines, you will fall in love with it, and it will make life a lot easier. Nikki, do you have anything that you would say with a 1-year-old around to make it easier?
Um, I always tell people you've got to give yourself grace in the season
Mhm.
that you're in because those seasons they change and sometimes they change quickly. Um, the biggest thing is to just decide what's important to you and kind of make that your focus and just kind of let the other things go.
Yeah.
That would be my biggest tip.
Yeah. When I'm at my daughter, she has a 22-month old and a newborn that just came home last week. So when I go over to keep the babies, and I usually go at least once a week, what I find works for me while she's working is I don't worry about the toys and the sticky finger mess and all that stuff because, he eats his snacks at the coffee table and stuff like that. So we get a little bit of a sticky mess right there and stuff. I just don't worry about it. And then once I get him down for his nap, I take a Clorox wipe or something like that. I wipe it super duper quickly. I push all the toys back into the basket that we keep in there and kind of just real quick, I'm talking less than 5 minute reset the room so that when he gets back up after lunch or after nap, then it's not overwhelming. I can tell you a child can be overwhelmed by things just as much as we can. So when I put everything back and then maybe pull one thing out he hasn't played with for a little while, we will play. We will read a book he's never read before. We will play with the little people, farmhouse that he hasn't played with for a while because now all the balls are out of the way. Now all the other things are out of the way. And it seems like we have more fun the days that I'm busy and I'm doing other things and I forget to do that step. He's a lot more amped up. He's not as happy. He's not as engaged. He's throwing things and all kinds of stuff. So, just a quick reset when you have a minute to just like wipe the slate clean and give you and him a break from the mess may work out because a 1-year-old, they get a lot of stuff out, like everything out, and I feel like sometimes the game is to empty the box. And so I'm constantly like, let's put everything back in and maybe push the box behind a bigger toy and see if we can get them engaged in the bigger toy for a little bit. But remember not to worry about perfectionism because absolutely no one is going to be perfect with a toddler around ever. Um, so don't worry about folding their little clothes. They don't care. Don't worry about folding your undies. Pick your battles. And I always say, there's got to be one or two things that drive you crazy, like your trigger or your hot spot. For me, I already said it's the dishes, dirty sink and dishes. It's a bed, and then it's just, in general, like I don't want to see piles of anything unless they're neatly stacked piles, and then I'm okay. I don't know why. I'm weird. ADHD run is all over me. I'm not autistic, but definitely hyper focusing. It's a blessing and a curse. When I get in the zone to clean, it's very hard for me to stop. So I have to turn on a timer to stop me from doing it and forgetting everything else. Because the problem I have with hyper focusing is that if I'm hyper focused on decluttering a closet, I will go down the rabbit hole and I will be doing it for 4 hours, and I will forget to eat, drink, pick up my child from daycare. Like I will just completely be in the zone, won't set out anything for dinner. Like everything else goes away because I am making progress and I get into it. So I do rely heavily on my phone for a timer. I've got it set up on my watch for 15-minute timer so that even if I want to continue more than 15 minutes, it just reminds me this is how long I've already spent here. So I cannot spend, I use it for my phone too, because social media, you can get sucked in. If I'm taking a break and I open up my phone or my computer, hours could fly by. So I keep myself on task with a timer for sure.
Yes, same here.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we're just going to buzz through here. Let's see. So Joyce says that is it Miley vacuum is great. I'm going to look at that and see because I have not looked into that one. So thank you so much because I do want to shop and see if I can get a good deal with Amazon Prime. If not, I will continue to shop until Black Friday and just see what I come up with. Joyce, thank you so much. She also says, congratulations on the baby. He is so sweet. And of course, came out darker than me with more hair probably than me, right off the bat, but that's not unusual. Reducing the overwhelm for everyone. That is so good. I love it. So rapid fire, we're going to wrap this up. We've just got less than 10 minutes. So let's just talk real quickly. Okay. So Nikki, where did you meet your husband?
At church.
At church? Me too. Very
Yep.
cool. Very cool. So Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
Yes. Ah, gosh. You need to teach me Instagram because I know nothing. I think I'm a little older than you, and Instagram, I just never got it. And Facebook's been around 100 years, so I kind of understand it a bit more, but I am trying, but I'm terrible.
Okay.
Terrible. You've been on mine. I have like one post a month or something. It's terrible. Y'all comment below. Which one are you in? I'd love to know where you guys are at. Also, let's see. So we know you're a paper planner, 100%. What planner are you using right now?
Ooh, I was hoping you weren't going to ask me that because I just switched like yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday. I spent last night setting it up. I have switched back to the Bloom daily planner, which is actually, it's not a daily planner, it's a weekly planner, but it's a vertical planner.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm using this week.
This year, and I've dedicated for the whole year, I'm doing paper. I did digital last year. Love a digital planner. Probably I'm going to go back digital next year, but I'm not going to say for sure. We'll see how that plays out. Right now, I've got my She's in Her Apron planner. I was telling Nikki earlier, I'm that weird girl. I like to do it a little bit cute. So I'm going to show you just, let's see. So this is this week. So I got it all laid out, got things highlighted so that I can find it because ADHD, I need it to be obvious and smacking me in the face in order to do it. Amazon Prime Day, we've already said this week. What are you looking to maybe purchase, Nikki?
I purchased several things this morning. I wasn't really looking for stuff for me, but my son is going on a missions trip and he has to have all kinds of different things. So that is what I shopped for today. I'm trying to stay away, actually.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not
Yeah.
buy anything from me.
Same, same.
Yes.
My husband, we do not have a regular income right now. I've told you guys, we are starting a business. So, all prayers for starting a new business would be greatly appreciated. I know that God has a plan for us, so we're not stressing about it, but I'm definitely not going extra. But I have been watching the stick vacs for over a year now, and I will look, and if it's a smoking hot deal, I've got a little bit saved up I might get, but the reality is I'm super cheap and I'm cautious. So it's going to have to be a really smoking hot deal. But that's number one
Right.
on my list. What are your absolute favorite tools that you have gotten either for self care or for like organization, cleaning, things like that?
Okay, let me do cleaning products because there are several that I like. I did mention that I have just a Shark stick vac that is corded.
Mm-hmm.
That gets used a lot. I also have a very inexpensive robot vacuum, and I love that thing. It's not like a perfect thing. It's not one of those that like maps really
Mm-hmm.
well. It's not super high tech. I got it on Amazon Prime a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's still going strong. Um, and I like it because it just gets up the majority of things.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't always get the corners, it doesn't
Yeah.
always get the stuff. But if I run it every day, I can tell a huge, huge, huge
Mm-hmm.
difference. And so that's probably my favorite thing. But other than that, if you watch my channel, my favorites are the things that I use in my videos. I like e-cloths. I like my
Mm-hmm.
microfiber cloths. I like Swiffer dusters because they're not cheap, but they're fast and
Mm-hmm.
efficient. Um, and I like Barkeeper's Friend. Barkeeper's Friend cleans everything. So those are my favorites.
I recently got an electric scrubber.
Okay.
Love, love, love it because the upstairs bathroom that my teenagers use, it's an older house, and it seems like the coating on that bathtub is a little bit rough. It's not smooth. Like my bathtub stays smooth, and when I clean it, it gets clean, and it's a little elbow grease, but no big deal. I have tried every product known to man. I have let it sit. I have used Comet, Barkeeper's Friend, all the things, vinegar, baking soda, everything that anybody ever recommended. And I was just working myself ragged trying to get this thing clean, and it never came clean. So, getting that, and I got a really inexpensive one just to see if it will work. Let me tell you, that little inexpensive Dewey, I don't know if it's going to last a whole month or not. I love it. I
That's
absolutely love it.
awesome.
I've used it on both bathrooms now, and I mean, it cut my cleaning time in like they cut out probably 90% of my elbow grease on my tub. And y'all know a tub can be really hard. It's awkward. You're using a lot of muscles. So I love, love, love that. I highly recommend. Even the cheap one is going to be valuable, you know. Um, I do like a microfiber mop because I have hardwood floors, and so a regular mop with all the water is not really great for my house. Um, I use my hand vac all the time because, like I said, the Kirby is big and bulky, and we tend to have crumbs all the time. So it's just really nice to grab it. I do have a robot, like you were talking about. It's an off brand that the kids got me for Christmas. Little guy gets lost all the time and stuck underneath our beds and
Oh
stuff.
no.
But yeah, we run him when we can find him, but sometimes I can't find him because he's set to
That's
just
funny.
auto run, but it does make a huge difference when he's going. For personal care, I got something kind of expensive for Christmas last year, and I'm loving it. I haven't been doing it as much as I need to, but it's called a new face, and it electronic stimulates to get rid of wrinkles. And yeah, I still have a lot, but I can definitely see that, like, the gels are better than they were because it's supposed to stimulate to make more collagen, which tightens things up. So,
Right.
it was expensive, but I know that my husband got it on Black Friday, and I'm telling you, I've seen so many amazing, results from it with other people that use it every week. I have not been super consistent with it, but that's my fly in July, fully love yourself in July. I'm trying to do self-care every single day this month, taking my vitamins, getting some workouts in, doing the things. And the vitamins that I found that I'm loving are Well Tall, I think. They are hair vitamins. Um, these little baby things are so much better since I started them a couple weeks ago. It takes about 6 weeks to start seeing it, and I'm on, like, week 5, so I'm pretty sure that a lot of that baby is from those vitamins, but, I'm getting older. I gotta do the things, and, those are some things that, if you're over 40 and you're starting to worry about stuff like that, and it's a good deal this week on Amazon, I would consider it, but they are not cheap. Self-care is never cheap. Home care, yeah, I think you covered it. Like, stick vac, I think, would be huge. I did buy one of those steam shots. That's nice when you have something stuck on, but I don't use it every day. It's an additional tool in my arsenal, so if I have a
Right.
problem, I have it, but it's not worth getting it for an everyday type of thing.
My favorite thing to use that for is for the bathroom that my boys use. That's the only
Yeah,
time I ever use it. But
yeah, yeah, for sure. There is no magic, that I have found. I've tried all the cleaning products, and, I like some better than others. I like the Method, um, almond furniture spray because it smells great, and I feel like it's conditioning, and we have some older, wood and some things that were handmade that maybe didn't get quite as much of a shellac on it, so we need to condition it, and I think it does a really good job. Plus, I just love the smell. I like the Mrs. Meyer stuff because it smells good. Do I think it cleans any better? I don't know. I really don't, but it's safe around the babies and it smells pretty. So, but there's nothing that beats like baking soda, bleach, vinegar. I went on that kick with Tide and hot water, and I have been like cleaning everything with the powdered Tide, and it's not expensive at all, and you get a lot of cleaning out of that. So probably for right now, that is my go-to when I'm doing any zone cleaning is I'm mixing up a batch of that, and it really truly does cut through just about everything. But
yeah, I use that too. It's good.
yeah, it is so good, and I only got it because I got the, cleaning handbook from Go Clean Co, and, you always think you know everything, and then you find something like that, and I'm like, "Why did I
Yep.
buy all these other things when this works so incredibly well?" So, I'm a believer now, and, as you can see, I support everybody. Like, I'm not, loyal to any one person. Whatever works the best is the thing that I'm gonna grab, and so my slogan, I know you guys hear it all the time, where is it? Goal is a plan that works for you. That is the only thing that I'm here to promote. So whether it's FlyLady, Clean Mama, Go Clean Co, whatever, or a mix and blend of all of it, I just want y'all to find something that you like, enjoy, and can maintain that kind of makes you feel good about how you're living and where you're living and takes care of the family and all that stuff. Nikki, you got any ending thoughts before we say goodbye?
Um,
No
I
pressure.
guess the biggest thing, and just a little bit, I guess the biggest thing would just be if you are struggling, just start where you're at. Pick one
Mhm.
thing and just do it, and then do it again tomorrow and the next day. Don't feel like you
Mhm.
have to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm not
Yeah.
perfect. Terry's not perfect.
Mhm.
Nobody's perfect. What you
Yeah.
guys see from us online is snippets.
Mhm.
You don't see the days that, I don't necessarily clean my house on a day and film it
Yeah.
when it's like major, major mess because I just don't.
Yeah.
But my house, we get to edit things. So
Mhm.
just do what you can, pick one thing, and just start. Biggest thing is
Yeah.
just start.
Yeah. 100%. I found it very interesting when I started doing these types of videos that there are actual people who do these extreme clean with me's and they tell their families to be crazy in their house for a week and then they film it. I have a huge problem with that because I want to, number one, be authentic, but I'm
Right.
telling you to be consistent. I cannot let it pile up. And that's the thing, is that sometimes when it does get out of hand, like I came home from being at my daughter's, it was a mess. I never even thought about grabbing my phone and filming this.
Exactly.
I thought,
Yeah.
let me get these dishes done right now because I cannot live and breathe
Yes.
another second while they're there. And it's because I've learned this in my brain, in the deep down core of me now, that I'm just not going to tolerate a dirty sink of dishes. But it took a long time to get there. Like, it did not happen overnight. But now that it's there, it's hard to walk away from it. When you see it, you just take care of it. And so, no, I don't show you guys the worst of it, but it's not because I'm trying to hide it. It's honestly because I just go into fix it mode, which is, your mom mode that's built in, and you just do it. So when I'm filming, I'm having to remember, like, I need to film a video about catch up cleaning in my kitchen today. And so last night before I went to bed, I was like, I'm not going to start the dishwasher. It's going to drive me crazy, but I need to show what it would have been like if I had came home and did film the other day. So I'm on purpose doing that. Did I tell anybody make it worse? No, it's just the reality of what my sink looked like. And I think, yeah, giving yourself grace. I think that was probably the best thing, is everybody falls off the wagon. Everybody has life happen. Somebody gets sick, you get sick, you take a long trip, you know, somebody loses a job, whatever the case may be, life gets interrupted. So even the best laid plans, no matter how well I plan a day, it never goes 100% according to my plan. But I've learned, lay out what I think I can get done, and then be flexible with what I actually get done. And whatever I don't finish, I just move over to a different day when I think I can do it then. But bottom line, pick your battles. Just pick them. It's just not
Yep.
worth having a huge fight with your husband over one sock on the floor. It's just not. Just pick it up, deal with it, move on, and give it to God and be full of grace. You know?
Yes.
I
Yes.
always end in prayer. So if you don't mind, I'm going to do that very quickly, because I don't push my faith on anybody, but I am a faith-based channel. Okay. Father God, I praise your name. I thank you that we have the freedom to come together and to talk openly about the pros and the cons of cleaning, of life, of just where we are and what we're dealing with. Father, I pray that you will just be here in this moment, that you'll know the needs of everybody who is here and who may be listening in the future. I pray that you would just remind us that we are beautifully made, we are perfectly made, and that we can do all things. Father God, I thank you for Nikki, who is just so gracious to join me. And I just pray that you will continue to bless us with friendship, with love, with hope, and just with joy. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, guys. Thank you so very much. We will catch y'all on our next video. And I hope I can invite Nikki to come back again. I think it would be great if we just did this all the time. All right. Until next time. Bye, guys.
Thanks.